Mrs. D, there's background noise in the background. Yeah, of the paper. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's program. What's wrong? Today's program. No, it's just me. How are you today? I hope you're all doing well. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is day 26 of Dr. Sunday Adelaja birthday special. His 52nd birthday special. In just 2 days, Dr. Sunday will be 52. Wow. I can't wait. I'm really just trying to be calm, really. Thank you all for joining. Please share this video. As you're coming in and joining us, share, please. You know how to share already. If you don't know how to share, just click below this video. You would see an icon that says share, and then below that you will get options of how or where you want to share. So you can actually copy the link as well and paste it onto your WhatsApp or Messenger or any other platforms that you want to share this video on. How are you guys doing? I am really excited today. I hope you had a lovely day. Today's Sunday actually. Well, welcome back if you've been to the shrine. Welcome back and to join us right now. We're going to have a well of time today. DSA'S inspirational quotes. That's what our discussion will be about. I love quotes personally. You know how Facebook reminds you of quotes. Facebook has been reminding me of several quotes over the last few years that I've been putting up, and I've been really proud of myself because it seems like I've always been into this kind of truth, inspirational quotes or inspirational words and encouragement and philosophy over the last few years. So I'm really grateful for that, and I'm also grateful for Dr. Sunday. So this is a learning opportunity today, as we have been over the last 26 days. So this is another learning opportunity, guys. As we're celebrating, we celebrate by learning and developing ourselves to be better people. And DSA, that's Dr. Sunday Adelaja, he's somebody that has put a lot of hours in himself and developed himself in so many areas. And over the last 26 days, we've been looking at the various areas. So after today's program, we have one more program, and then it's Dr. Sunday's birthday. I'm so excited. That is on the 28th of May, 2019. He will be 52 years old. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to make a few quick announcements before we start. So first thing first, guys, do the honors right now and share this video. Share. Secondly, if you want to call in to share your thoughts and opinion after the presentation today of DSA's inspirational quotes, feel free to write to us at Move Agents. That's a Facebook messenger, Move Agents, MOVEAGENTS. That's Move Agents Facebook profile messenger, and we would know that you are interested. So just say hi, or I want to call in later, or call me, I want to contribute, and we would know that you are interested in sharing your thoughts after the presentation today. Right, if you look right on your screen, you would be able to see a book there, Money, Riches, Wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. I've been going on about this over the last more than 3 days, 4 or 5 days now. This one sentence here, until you know the difference, you are not free. Or should I say, words those words really poked me, and I was a bit concerned, but I'm not now, because of course this book is here. Even if I'm not currently free right now, because I'm not sure I know the difference, then I have the book to help me. So what am I even worried about? I don't know. Anyway, guys, welcome. You can get this book right now for just $3.99 on Amazon by just pre-ordering. So pre-order is just letting them know that you're interested. You pay for it in advance, and they will send it to you as soon as the book is published and ready to go, or published right into the world, I guess. So please, guys, go and get this book for $3.99. That's a small price for the knowledge that you're going to gain from money, riches, wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. I'll remind you again later, ladies and gentlemen. So guys, I'm going to show you a few more books. And I also want to remind you, this whole month of May, Dr. Sunday is doing a promotional offer, and the team actually, we're doing a promotional offer on all DSA's books. So if you want DSA's books, anywhere you are in the world, we will be able to get that to you. But you first need to write to us at DSA'sbooks@gmail.com with the order. So you put the details of the books that you want, the quantity of books that you want, your address, and we will confirm that with you, and then we will send it for shipment as soon as possible. Please bear with us. We've been getting a lot of orders because they are on promotion. The books are on promotion at the moment, so they're a lot cheaper than they will be normally. So I would ask you to stock up for Christmas presents, birthday presents, and just order as many books as possible as you could or you can afford before the promotion ends, which is going to be the end of May. That will be 31st of May. That will be Friday. Okay, so take the advantage or take the offer right now. I'll show you a few books that we have available. We have lots of books. We have all of DSA's books available, but I'll just show you a few here just to remind you of the great titles and content of Dr. Sunday. Here we have Life in God's Kingdom. Life in God's Kingdom. I think if you're a Christian or you're a follower of Christ, you want to know about Life in God's Kingdom. Excellent book, not too hefty, so you can read this in a day or so. Here we are, Life in God's Kingdom. We have another one here. Actually, this one is a double offer, or should I say 2-in-1. Yes, let me say 2-in-1. The Happiness of a Woman and then the Happiness of a Man. I love this book just because it's just not looking at one side. It's not one-sided. Happiness of a man, happiness of a woman. So both sides is co-written by Pastor Bose Adelaja. That's Pastor Dr. Sunday Adelaja's wife, and is co-written by her. So that's Pastor Bossa in the front of the Happiness of a Woman and Dr. Sunday in front of the Happiness of a Man. I mean, great book. You really want to get this book. Male and female, is worth you knowing what it costs or what it takes for the happiness of a man, and then what it takes for the happiness of a woman. Excellent read here. And then we have here Living Sexually Free. Yeah, okay. Need I say more? Living Sexually Free, guys. And then right here we have another book here, The Death of Nations, Why Countries Fail. The Death of Nations, Why Countries Fail. I'm really interested in reading this. Why Countries Fail. Interesting. I might get this for my friend Theresa May as well. Why country fails. Not that Britain has failed, but maybe she might find something here. Here we are, The Death of Nations, Why Countries Fail. And then we have here, How to Find Money for Your Dreams. I know a lot of people, all of us have dreams. No, let me just say a lot of people. We all have dreams. And here it's a manual saying how to find money for your dreams. excellent book. And finally, one of my greatest challenge or a greatest challenge of Dr. Sunday in 2018. I actually love that period, the Elijah Challenge. The Elijah Challenge. Everything that you need to know about the Elijah Challenge and what it means, and so that you can also have, you can also develop the boldness to be able to do something like that. The Elijah Challenge, even better than that, this book is for you. The Elijah Challenge, breaking the bondage of fear and deception in the Nigerian church. I think everybody needs this book. I mean, I think I'm understating this fact of this book, because a lot of so-called Christian, quote unquote, are afraid. They are afraid of men and women. They're afraid of their GOs. They're afraid of curses. They're afraid of everything. You know, they're afraid of their shadow. Anyway, I would say get this book. The Elijah Challenge is a deliverance book. You don't need to go and pay TB Joshua, anybody, any deliverance fee. Here is a book for you, The Elijah Challenge. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, and I'm sure you've been hearing sounds in the background, okay? And you probably know, by the sound of which gender, not that gender matters, okay? But in any case, we are going to have a well of a time this evening. By the way, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, good evening. So I'm just going to go straight to our presenter today, our lovely diva, and I'm going to say her name now. Her name is Mrs. ADEOLA DISU. I call her Mrs. D. So to present DSA inspirational quotes. Da-da-da! Hello, Mrs. D. How are you?
Hello, Mayawa. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
Thank you.
Welcome our viewers from all over the world. We are going to have a well of a time today. Yeah. It's a privilege to be doing this program, celebrating the impact of the life of Dr. Sunday Adelaja in the lives of people and nations all over the world. I know he's watching today. I have a tribute for him at the end. But, sir, I just want to wish you a happy birthday and many happy returns. Thank you.
Wow. Mrs. D. Mrs. D, it's nice to see you.
And you too.
On this side, like just presenting and, coming out like this. It's lovely to see you. From me to you. By the way, guys, Mrs. D is a lovely designer that designed all our promotional banners. So if you don't know, now you know. And if you need promotional banners for any of your Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, she's the person to go to. She's the go-to person, okay? Oh. So that's an ad right there for Mrs. D.
Thank you so much.
Everything that you see that I put up, Dr. Sunday puts up, Mrs. D is the go-to person for that. She's a lovely designer, very creative person. You are inspirational yourself, Mrs. D.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so DSA inspirational quotes, Mrs. D. I'm going to give you the mic, and I'm going to try and keep quiet for at least 5 minutes, if I can.
That's right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
Yes, can we have the first slide, please? Okay, so welcome our viewers, and like I said earlier, it's a joy to be doing this presentation. It's DSA's inspirational quotes that we will be looking at today. I would first like to do an overview of my presentation. So if we go to the second slide, please. Do we have the second slide? Yes. Okay. So today, this is an overview of what we're going to be doing today. There's an introduction. I'll be talking about meeting DSA and the first time I met DSA. And then we have a competition for our audience. We want you to be, we want this show to be interactive, and we want you to participate as well as we go along. And then we would look at the lessons from the past 25 days. I want to go over these lessons because we're coming to the end of this countdown celebration. And I think that from day one, we've been able to talk about the life of someone whom I call a legend, about his life, how he has developed himself, the values and the principles of his life that has made him who he is today. And then we will look at some quote survey that I did. I interviewed some people, though they didn't want to be shown on the video. But I have some quotes, which I have termed egocentric or scamming quotes, non-truths and half-truths and lies quotations. And then we would look at DSA's inspirational quotes, the lessons and principles at some of them. And we go ahead to talk about the influence of some ancient philosophers in his life. And then we have products that we can all use to propagate these right values to influence our value systems in society. And then my tribute at the end. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, wow,
Okay.
wow.
So, without further ado, I will be now talking about when I met Dr. Sunday Adelaja. It all started, I think, 2016, September, but I like to call it a second chance. And the reason being that many, many years back before 2016, I believe God drew my attention to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. Then we had a cable TV, and they transmit his church from Kyiv, Ukraine on that TV. But I was so busy. I was so busy with life that I wasn't even paying attention at all to what he was saying. We're just all really excited at a Black African man who is making impact in Eastern Europe. And to fast forward, in 2016, someone, a friend of ours, sent me a text. And normally, I wouldn't take a text immediately as it comes into my phone. But this Saturday afternoon, September 2016, I was having a conversation with my husband regarding Nigeria. I love Africa so much, and I was really concerned at the fact that Africa was termed the dark continent. You know, everything to do with Africans was just really dark. Corruption, you know, I didn't like all the negative news that was going on. So it had been a burden on my heart. And I kept saying to my husband that I think we should set up a social media page and call it Submit a Skill, calling on all diaspora, Africans in the diaspora, to submit a skill that would make into, you know, a proposal to our African nations. Anyway, this text came in, and I decided that afternoon to click it. And when I clicked it, it was a program by Dr. Sunday Adelaja. And in that program, he was making an announcement about the Nigerian Transformation Project. And I just screamed. I said, oh, look at this. We're just having this conversation here about, you know, how we can bring some solutions to Africa. I didn't know how to go about the process or have any idea, but I just thought we needed to start something and gather all these Africans who are all in all these developed nations, and we can just come together and start to do something for our continent. And there we go. That's how I got connected to him. And I sent him an email. I was so excited about the program I had seen. And I was shocked because when I sent him the email, he responded. And when he responded, I just exclaimed. I thought, oh no, he responded. I said, oh, then in my head, I heard something telling me, oh no, it's his secretary, you know. And then the next day, he sent me, because I didn't reply. I was waiting to discuss it with my husband, you know, and he responded and said, I sent you, you know, a response to your email. And I thought, oh, okay. Dr. Sunday actually did respond. He was the one that actually did respond to that, to my email. So I was really excited about it. I sent him a message back and said, yeah, that it's me. I introduced myself properly, and we scheduled to speak on Skype. I told him when my husband is around, we will be able to have a chat with him. And that's how the story began. You know, my story with DSA, right? Mayowa.
Yeah. Wow. This is that story in terms of Nigerian Transformation Project.
That's
being one of the reason why, you know, something that has been in your heart, and one of the reasons why you connected so quickly with Dr. Sunday. It's a great story, because I don't think many people have actually talked over the last 26 days about Nigerian Transformation Project in terms of what connected them. Usually, most people are usually pessimistic about that project and thinking it's not possible, you know. But of course, God has already kind of put it in your heart already. So when you heard it from somebody else, it was like it was a confirmation for you. And I love the fact that you're really excited about that. I hope your project as well, the Submit a Skill, I hope it's already up and running, because we do still need that. That's a fantastic idea, and I think that should still continue to progress. Okay.
Yes. I think we will develop it further. And as you can see with the slide, meeting the ADEOLA, if we have slide 3 on, you can see that the picture on the top left there was, I came to the HMT the next year, okay? I came to the HMT the next year, and it was my first time of meeting Dr. Sunday Adelaja. It was during the church anniversary, and I'd come in that evening, and I was waiting to meet him that night. He came in, and it was really late. But the first thing he said to me when he spotted me was that, oh, you came. And, you know, the next day, we were having breakfast, and I was really surprised, really, to see him as a GO, to come into the cafeteria to meet every other person, every one of us who had arrived, you know, for the HMT that was taking place straight after the anniversary. And that's it. And then the same year, I'd come back, because then we were celebrating his 50th birthday.
Yeah.
And that's when I met Pastor Bosse. This is where I took this picture, meeting the Adelajas.
I can see that.
Yeah. Okay, so if we go to slide 4 now. Yes. Are we there? Yes.
We are
nearly
there. Slide 4.
Okay. Slide 4. Well, the next slide.
It's coming. Okay, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to involve our audience this evening in a competition. We want this show to be very interactive. And in this competition, we are asking you to type one or more of Dr. Sunday Adelaja's favorite quotes in the comment section, and you would receive an electronic desktop wallpaper. Dr. Sunday has so many quotes. I'm going to be revealing a figure that blew my socks off a few days ago. That was, you know, when I found out. But he also has some favorites quotes in, you know, amongst those quotes. So we would like you, if you can type one or more of Dr. Sunday's favorite quotes in the comment section, you will be able to receive an electronic version of a desktop wallpaper sent to your inbox after today.
Wow. Mrs. D, you're even offering stuff to people. Right. Let me just repeat that. If everyone that is watching out there, if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, right?
You
need, while Mrs. Disu is doing this presentation, please write in the comment section Dr. Sunday's favorite quotes, your quotes that you like. So I'm assuming, Mrs. D, that this could be the quotes that you mentioned as well, or it could be new quotes.
Yeah, they are part of what we would mention today and some other ones. Yeah.
Okay, so just type in the comment section your favorite quotes, and once we receive as many, I don't know how we're going to do this, but in any case, you're going to get a free gift, and that would
I
be a
know.
wallpaper of
Yeah.
DSA on your
Desktop
screen.
wallpaper.
Desktop
Yeah.
wallpaper, actually,
Yeah.
desktop wallpaper of
That's
DSA.
right.
Would be a nice one,
Okay.
I guess. So,
Yes.
guys, I think that's great. Let's go, Mrs. D.
Yes. So if we go to the next slide, please, which is slide number 4.
Okay.
Number 5,
Number
sorry.
5.
Yes. So I actually want to reflect, first of all, in the past 25 days. I mean, we've had just some significant presentation in the life of a human being just like us. We've heard about testimonies of how he's developed himself. We've heard how he is a family man. Pastor Bosse came and told us how he is a great family man, you know, a priest in his household, how he's a great father. His children, Perez, Zoe, and Pearl, came and described to us DSA as a father and their experience with him, how he was praying even for them before they were conceived, you know, before they were born. He was praying with regards to their destinies, that it will be fulfilled in the direction of what God had planned for their lives, you know. And we also heard about how DSA is a great man of influence, you know, is a man of wisdom, a visionary, a trailblazer. You know, we also heard about how he's an innovator. We heard how Brother Israel was talking about how he developed himself from being a boy to a man, you know, and everything that he needed to do to propagate the kingdom of God's standard of living, to bring people into the kingdom. We also heard how about his chief values, the principles that he had imbibed in his life, how he thinks, what forms his thinking and his ideologies. We've heard that over the past 25 days. But I am about to make a very bold statement here, and this is my opinion about what has been happening since day one of this celebration of Dr. Sunday's life. I actually would like to, you know, this statement is big and it's bold. I called him, based on everything I've heard, and even before now, a human being prototype. And I would, you know, defend, you know, with my arguments on this. You see, whenever God wants to bring about a change or a solution to a problem on the earth, he would always choose a man. So we saw it from the very beginning when he chose, when he created Adam and all the other people that he had called, Abraham, you know, Moses. He would always choose a particular man, or just one man. Because, you know, we keep hearing, how can a man say that he would change, you know, Africa, he would change Nigeria? And people still find it difficult to understand the principles of God, you know, the way God does things. And we see how he he um, uh, he customizes a man using DSA as a model. We see how God packages a man, you know, and equips him to come into this world to sort out and bring solution to problems in different aspects of life. Okay. Um, yeah, you know, I believe that this same what is actually going on right now with DSA is exactly what God saw before he sent Jesus into the world. Okay.
Wow.
And yeah, because I could see exactly the same kind of plan that God had for Jesus to come and rescue man, and and teach them the laws and principles of life. Okay. And then also deliver the redemption solution that he had put in place for man to be rescued back to his kingdom. And for DSA's life, I see the same. There's a video that we're going to show shortly, and this actually shows us from DSA's narration of how God packaged him, how God heard a cry in Russia and packaged him to be a solution for the cry of the people in Russia at the time. Okay. Okay, Maya.
Wow, this is really interesting, Mrs. D.
Yeah.
Your views and your kind of like, yeah, is view. Your view on what you see and how you see Dr. Sunday, the statement you made there, that is human's prototype,
Yes.
and I really love that, that a human prototype, what we should be like, not being polluted by all the things that we have been polluted by, but
Yes.
actually being what God wants us to be, the kind of person
That's
that
right.
God wants us to be. And over the last 25 days up to
Days,
today,
yeah.
we've had different people talking about one man, one person.
Yeah, that's right.
The more we talk about DSAs and what is achieved, I can see why some people cannot believe that. But
That's right.
what we want people to realize is, and especially DSA, this is what is always telling me, is that whatever he's able to do, I can do better, and we
That's
can all
right.
do this. He actually followed a process. He followed a stringent order. He followed, he was persistent in everything that he's doing. He's put the hours in, his 10,000
right.
hours in everything that he's
That's
been
right.
doing. So if you're out there and you're feeling like, okay, you're just saying the DSA prototype, we're all prototype. But if
That's
you
right.
do not actually cultivate these things, you're not, if you don't cultivate what it takes, the qualities, the abilities that is needed in order to achieve like this, then you're
That's
not going to realize it. But we are all prototype of God, and that's why
Yes.
we're in God's image. And for that
Yes.
reason, we are all capable. We have the capabilities to achieve
That's
this.
right.
And I just want to mention one thing and keep
Yes.
quiet, is that Mrs. D said that God will send a man. That also includes you as a woman, okay?
That's right,
So
yeah.
we're saying this in the sense of human, okay? Human being, not man as in male. Okay?
Male, yeah,
So
that's right.
I just want people to be set straight
Yes,
on
that's
that.
right. Yeah,
Please.
thanks for that clarification.
Yes.
Yes, it's man as mankind,
Man,
which
yes.
is man, female and male.
Men. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So if we go ahead and play the first
Let's
video.
do.
Intelligence. God he doesn't make mistakes. So he works out, he plans out everything perfectly. And one of the things you have to know about God is that anything that he allows to happen, anything that he does, he has not just only knows what he wanted, but he has planned it out and finished it in his mind. He has completed it before he even starts. So for all of us, he would not even create you if he had not finished the purpose and he had not put in you, he had not found out why he wanted to create you. So you are just a creation to carry out that assignment that he already had intention of finishing. You are a tool to be used to carry out his purpose. So for example, let's say in my own case, 90 years ago or 92 years ago, communism happened in the former Soviet Union. Darkness came. For 90 years or 70 years before I came in, so 70 years, people of this land and of these countries were crying, weeping, They told them there was no God, but they were still suffering and yearning for light and for deliverance. So people were being killed, sent to Siberia. This was 70 years ago, before my mother was born. Maybe it's 90 years ago, sorry, before my mother was born, before my father was born, 100 years ago, when all these things happened. So when God started hearing the cries and the tragedies of all the people, God heard them 70 years back. He decided to send a solution, that a time will come that there will be somebody he needed to give birth. So the needs have come up to him, and he needed to give birth to solution for somebody to be packaged, because all the people who were created before then, they were already packaged for their own things. So those people were crying, the cries were going up to God. God now heard those prayers, and he said, okay, I'm now going to package somebody or some children or some people, my representative, my image, my likeness. I'm going to package, but the packaging of God, in your case in heaven, for me, it has to have neurons or neutrons, or neurons and neutrons, or different chemicals, atoms that would include and that will respond to Russia. So he packaged Russia abilities, in me, skills, things that will make me to be able to adapt, to be able to function, and to be able to carry out that function. Because he had had the prayer of the people that they needed deliverance, they needed the light, they needed salvation. So he packaged me to be able to communicate and function and minister effectively to these people. That was part of my package. But I didn't know, my mother didn't know, my mother was not born, my father was not born, I was not born, but God had finished packaging. So one day, my father was born, my mother was born in different places. They met and decided to fall in love, but they fell apart as well. They only lived together for 6 months. But in that 6 months, for some reason, pregnancy happened. And they never saw each other again. Because only his DNA and her DNA those were the only things that were needed, not the marriage, not the family, as we are worshiping family these days. That is why even a rape that ends up in pregnancy. Don't despise anything. Don't despise anything. So I never saw that father. Even my mother, I never saw. But God had arranged all that things. The person who is going to, okay, the DNAs were needed just from these two people. But God also had arranged the person to bring up, the conditions to be brought up in, the experiences, unique experiences to cultivate and bring about that feeling of compassion, love for people, the suffering that will make you to understand other people's suffering. And yeah, it's part of your path of preparation to help wake up all those neutrons and atoms and that were put in you for that purpose. So that's why, but those are the natural causes. But when you now begin to get cognition, understanding, when you now begin to grow up, it is now your obligation to now look inside yourself and say, okay, what is my leading? What is my inclination? And then because of that inclination that you already have, seek how to sharpen it. And that's what dictates where you go to get education. That will enhance and strengthen the natural calling, inclination that is in your DNA. But because of egocentrism, people tell you other stories. This one will pay more, this one will pay less, this one is a good one. But they don't let you know you. They want to let you know mammon. So the spirit of mammon hijacks you. You just become deaf to your natural inclinations. And you are lost all through life. You'll never be happy.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, go ahead, Mrs. D. I don't mean. Go ahead. We can't hear you, Mrs. D.
Oh, sorry?
Okay, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, this is just an excellent video to show how God packages a man. And I also want to say that everyone is packaged for different assignment, different mission on the earth. And we all just need to discover that. What DSA's life, what is celebration, what we are doing right now is to showcase how each and every one of us too can develop ourselves. You know, we can discover who we are and find out why we are here, what our purposes are, our mission. Mm-hmm. You know, you can see from the slide there that he has been called, you know, to impose, you know, the kingdom of God. What he is to bring to earth is to impose the principles of the kingdom of God on his generation and force his generation to reckon with Christ. Okay, and this is his obsession for life, and it is a lesson. The reason why I went through that earlier is because his life is a lesson for us to begin to emulate. This is why I call him a human being prototype, you know, for the kingdom of God standard of living. We are to discover the same about us, what God sent us, because individuals are sent to actually, you know, bring the glory of God to a portion of the earth. This whole earth thing is God's idea. And we as human beings, is sent us to bring his glory, just as, you know, the Bible says that he wants his glory to fill the earth, just as the waters cover the sea. And that's exactly why we have been created. So his life, God sent him so that we could see how he packages a man, how God packages a man to fulfill his mission here on the earth. Okay. So, I mean, we have the GOs who would say, you know, I've been called by God and you have to just come and, you know, serve me and things like that. They do a disservice to, you know, their members because they don't help them to discover their purpose for us. So they are actually like, you know, the parable of the talents, where the one with the one talent went and hid his talent, you know, and, you know, he wouldn't do anything about it. And what happens is that God takes from the one who doesn't fulfill, you know, his calling, his talent, and gives it to the one who is actually doing something with it. So we all need to discover ourselves, just like he is showcasing for us what you do, you know, when God puts you on the earth, to seek after, search, what is it that God has created me for? Okay. What is it that, why am I here? What is my purpose? Where am I supposed to, you know, deliver, you know, that which God has called me to deliver? You know, which part of the world, you know, which part of the sphere? We know about the 7 spheres of life. So which one is it? So we need to search deep within ourselves, you know, our wealth, our inner resources, and look inwards what we have, because it is true using all those that all the values that God has placed on the inside of us that we begin to execute our purpose on the earth. And this is one of the reasons why I say that DSA is a human being prototype, showing us exactly how we are supposed to be living our lives on the earth. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Mrs. D, you did defend that. I said, I'm going to defend myself. And you did defend that excellently. Yeah. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to the rest of your slides, so I'm just going to let
Yeah.
you get on. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So the next slide actually says, our mission is to make God visible. And this is what we can see from the past 25 days, DSA, showing us the standard of God's living in, the standard of God, what he expects us to do in the home, bringing the kingdom values into our home as a family man, as a father, as a husband to his wife, and, as a nation transformer. And all of these things were highlighted, in the past 25 days. And we really need to go and sit down and rewatch those videos again. And this would help us to discover what we need to do to make our mission, to fulfill our mission of making God visible on the earth. Okay. So we go to the next slide, which is slide number 8, I think, yeah, about my quote survey. Yeah. So we are about to get into today's presentation topic. So what I did when I saw this topic, I was really excited because for me, I've always loved collecting quotes. I collect quotes from everywhere, from, bright minds, philosophers, some of them I do put on my walls. I would print them out and put them on my walls, quotes that have life values that reminds me. I think that quotations are like a reminder, of life values. They are an alarm bell. I call them an alarm bell, that helps me to just remember these values of life. And, they're just easy for me to just remember. Maybe it's a book that I've read or something like that. We'll talk about Dr. Sunday's books, how in his books would have golden nuggets at the end of each chapter to remind you of what you have just read from that chapter in any particular book. But what I did was I did a quote survey, okay, because I discovered that there are some quotes that are not really, they're not truths about life. They're just quotes that help, for instance, religious leaders to propagate their lies more and to imbibe those lies into the lives of their congregation, to hold them down and to deceive them. So I have a few here, but I will read some of them out to us, and that has really, really destroyed the mindset, of people, destroy the, value system of our nations just because of their own personal gain. So some of the quotes I've termed egocentric or scamming quotes, okay, or half-truths and non-truths. I read one quote about life is predictable. So I asked some people, I asked them if they think that life is predictable. And some of them said, no, life can't be predictable because life is a mystery. You cannot really figure out life. You just need to just live and take one day at a time. So I have here, the first quote, egocentric or scamming quote, is that your financial revolution is tied to what you do with your finances on the gospel. And I think that is so wrong. Can you believe that? And it's a popular pastor in Nigeria, one of the big GOs that said that. And that is a lie, because these I've called a scamming quote, because he just wants you to direct all your finances to him. So when you give to the church, they think that, they want you to feel that you are actually fulfilling purpose. What?
Scammer and Scamara. Okay. I just need to mention something, Mrs. D. This is absolutely beautiful. Thank you very much. But please hold that thought. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you to please go ahead and share this. Because you know why, right? Today is Sunday, Sunday, right? And on this day, a lot of people would have gone and listened to some of these scamming quotes, okay? And not only that they went today, but they have imbibed that belief system inside
Yes.
of them. So even though we're talking about DSA's inspirational quotes, it's really good for you to unquote yourself or eject these scamming quotes out of you.
Yeah.
And if you know
Yeah.
anybody as well that live by this scamming quote, as Mrs. D has said, egocentric and scamming quotes, please share this video with them. Share,
Yeah.
share, please. Because,
Yeah.
you know, I think maybe sometimes I've believed in this kind of quotes many
Yeah.
years ago. Maybe I did.
Yeah.
I think so. Anyway, please share this. I'm sure you would find a quote yourself that you believed in that is a scamming quote. Let's go,
Yeah,
Mrs. D. I'm
that's right.
excited.
Yeah, I've once believed in a quote that says that life is a mystery, you know, and that you take it one step at a time. That what you need to do is just keep serving God in the four walls of the church, you know, and you are pleasing God, and whatever, you know, life brings, you know, this is, you know, the world is not our home.
Mrs.
Yeah.
D, I want to say
Yeah.
something, right?
Well,
Guys, maybe we should play a game as well. You know, you didn't want to mention the name. I'm just thinking, right? When
right.
Mrs. D says the quote, she's not saying the name of the scamming
No,
part.
I'm not.
Yeah, she's not saying it. She doesn't want to. She's like conservative, right? So let's play a game. As well as the quotes that you're writing, if you see a scamming quote, just say scamming quote and the name of the scammer. Scamming quotes are the name of the scammer. I can't wait. Guys, let's do this. This is going, you know, Mrs. D said it should be interactive, and I just thought of this. You know this scamming quote this last one? I know who said that. Yeah, right? I know who said that, but I don't know. I'll see how I feel about saying the scamara. It's a scamara. But Mrs. D, please go ahead.
Okay, so let's examine the next one that says, "Don't marry outside the church," and you have no reason to marry outside this church. The reason is that if you are both from the same church, even when trouble comes, it is easier for pastors to handle it. Scamara, I know. I know. And another one says, don't marry a girl that cannot cook. She needs to know how to do her chores and cook, because you cannot afford to be eating out all the time, you know? Don't marry a girl who is lazy, Maya. I don't know.
I can say the name, but Mrs. D, I'm just respecting you. It's because of you that I'm not saying it. But we're playing the game online, guys. Please write the names on there, the scammer and the scamaras. Let's go.
And then there's another one. You know, this is just so egocentric, okay? So he says, despite economic situation, we are not owing anybody any salary. And this is a pastor saying that, you see, yes, you don't owe anybody because you're taking from the people who are coming to you to give, you know, to pay. Yeah. And what they give them anyway is peanuts, you know. So you have and there's another one that I actually frowned at, you know, is that they said, I don't want to see any of my pastors looking like fellows from the training camps of the enemy.
What does that even mean?
Of terrorists, yeah, camps of terrorists.
Scamara. Scamara.
Yeah, they didn't want anyone to keep beards, you know. They think that if you keep beards, that you look like one of those, you know, people from the...
it's EA. Okay.
Yeah.
I like this game.
And then we have, you know, some other quotes that are, you know, half-truths quotes. You know, like, nobody can predict the future. Perfection is impossible. Just strive to do your best.
Wow.
These are half-truths.
Wow. Mrs. D, this is getting serious now. You know, even a lot of us believe that. Even I, to some extent,
that's right.
I believe that. So this is also part of the scammers.
Yeah. It's like you're saying that you can't, because this is also saying that life is not predictable. You know? Yeah. Yeah. And another one that we want to look at is life. If life were predictable, it would cease to be life. and be without flavor. Can you imagine that?
419 Yahoo.
Yahoo, Yahoo for one night. And then another one says, from one of the GOs, a pastor can teach you on TV, but he cannot, but he can't pastor you on TV. There is so much to gain by belonging to a church. That is,
Shrine.
shrine, cult, slave camps, yeah. But with Dr. Sunday's quotes, they are full of principles of life, what you need to do, in life, the laws of God that you need to put in place, and then we would have a look at some of those.
Okay.
So these lies have been propagated over the years, and people do believe it. When something happens in life, somebody say, oh, life is a mystery, you cannot figure it out, you just go by, you just keep believing God, just come and serve God. When you serve God in the house of God, you are fulfilling destiny, because you're using your skills and your talents, to do service with it. And I used to believe that as well, because there was a time in our lives when things were just really falling apart, and we were trying and struggling, to get back up, and we would just fall flat back again. And I thank God, because when I met Dr. Sunday Adelaja and the book, you can regain your lost years, which is one of, that's how I discovered it, because I'd given up. I'd totally given up. And because I'm a creative person, I just thought, okay, these skills because I've been convinced that the skills that I have is meant, for service in the house. So I just poured everything into all of those ministries, for many years,
Brainwash.
But and I never used to feel completely really fulfilled, but I just thought, well, I believe God, and maybe one day, or maybe this is just what he has for me. And I took it as faith, F-A-T-E, until I met Dr. Sunday. And then he started to teach me, I started beginning to listen to his, teachings, about life, and about how you can regain your lost years, what you needed to do with your time, and focus, concentration, and all of these things, and that's how, I am where I am today, just really coming out of all those wrong beliefs, even the quotes that I've kept in the house, like life is a mystery and all of that. I just tore everything up, because what I normally do with quotations is I would print them all out and put them all over the house, and we'll see them as a reminder for me, like I said earlier, they're like an alarm bell, and I'm just really just going about my business daily, believing those lies until I met Dr. Sunday. Okay.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, so the next slide that says, we go to the next slide, DSA'S inspirational quotes. Okay, so we have to, so there is an announcement to make about DSA'S quotes. We want to announce the official signature of Dr. Sunday Adelaja's quotes from now on, which is vintage DSA. Is that the next slide?
Yes, vintage
That's
DSA.
Right. Yeah, vintage DSA. And there was something that I found out. So, okay, let me say something about vintage DSA. Because when Pastor told me that all of his quotes should be signatured vintage DSA, I first thought about that. I thought, oh, what's that? But I went and checked what it means, what vintage actually really means, why he wanted to, signature vintage DSA, and not Dr. Sunday Adelaja or some other things I was trying to suggest some time ago, but when I checked that, and I said, oh yeah, why not? Because we're talking about life principles here. So they are eternal life principles, and that's what that means, and what I found out about DSA's quotes online is that he has over 10,000 quotes online. And that just blew me up, because I thought they were just in a few, thousand, maybe a couple of thousands. I
think he probably has more than 10,000 now. But I know for a fact that DSA has the highest numbers of quotes out there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't
Yeah.
know, quote me on that quote, right?
Yeah.
Quote me on that. DSA has the
Yeah.
highest numbers of
Highest
quotes.
number, yeah, because
Of
other
quotes.
pastors, yeah, of quotes, yeah. Other pastors have like 1,000 or just a few hundreds more, 1,100, 1,200. But he has over 10,000. And we're going to
Yeah.
be talking about the categories of those, of his quotes in a minute. So for our audience, so if we go to the next slide that says DSA's quotations category.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So here are all, I believe this, all of DSA's quotes categories. So we have quotations on success. We have quotes on relationships, on time and life. We have quotes on leadership, quotes on calling, purpose, and attaining goals, quotes on love, quotes on Christianity, quotes on laws and works, and quotes on understanding God, and quotes on wealth and creating your future. And I think that this is a well of information here, things that can actually, that we all can benefit from. We'll be talking about how to apply all of these quotes to our daily living, to our plans and our structures of our lives. And we, go through some of these quotes, we will see how they can positively affect, the way we think, the way our behavioral patterns. Because what it is with quotes is that I have noticed that when you have books of quotes, you actually follow, because, human beings, we like to be inspired. Okay, and we look for leaders or mentors, or some people, some sort of role model that would inspire us. So we're always looking for, people who would speak into our lives, especially with religious people. They're always looking for somebody to speak a word to them, and they would, just anything that comes from this, they just believe it, rather than, really have a thorough thinking about this quotes and check if these quotes are actually, truths, but they don't. We just follow them, like, the most popular one that is a false quote for me is life is a mystery. So a lot of people go about thinking that, oh, life is a mystery, so they're not motivated to even look inwardly. So they would just prefer to sit on their laurels. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
it brought a lot
Depo.
of damage. Yeah, that's the power of quotes, you see, because they carry that along, and their thinking is it's just little nuggets, isn't it? That people will just, they will read that, and they will start saying, if there's any kind of disappointments in their life, we just say, oh, well, life is a mystery. Who can unravel it? And this is what we have been facing for many centuries, you see.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm going on to the next slide now to really define what a quote is. Okay. So a quote is inspiring words of truth, of life values, that has the ability to influence us, affect our thoughts and behavioral patterns. And this is one thing, and life values, behavioral patterns and life values. And this is one of DSA's principles, where he follows, he has some chief values that he follows. He develops himself to think in a certain way. Okay, and to his behavioral patterns, he creates a kind of prison for himself, where he applies certain values of life, and he doesn't go outside of those values, and he doesn't break them. Pastor Derek was discussing with us his rules, where he builds, his life around certain principles, and he would not break them. And he used an example of when, after a certain meeting they had in London, where other ministers wanted to see him, and it was time for DSA to speak with his wife. and he did not, say, oh, okay, I'll call you later. He just went ahead with, with those rules, and that he has he prioritized things in his life, because God, is a God of principles, of laws and of rules. So he does that as well. He creates, he follows a set of rules for his life, and then he does them. And this is what forms his thoughts and behavioral patterns. And we will look later on in the presentation of how others, great minds, have influenced him as well. Historical figures, historical philosophers have influenced his life. And I defined, a quote as a reminder, as an affirmation, okay, for me, of something that I've heard. Maybe like if I read Dr. Sunday's books, so when I look through the golden nuggets, they are just like, his golden nuggets are some of his quotations. So they are like a reminder, an alarm bell for me. They're just nuggets of profound truths and life values that guides me in everything I do. So I always think about these quotes. The reason why I carry quotes or send quotes to people is so that they can start to think in a certain way. And we'll look how we can do the same for people, to help people to start to imbibe these quotations, which will eventually form the right value systems in society.
Wow.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So, yeah. Oh, okay. So we can go to the next quote that say, to the next slide, sorry, that says life is predictable. Yeah. So the lessons, the Bible talks about, one of the prayers that Jesus, when he was teaching us how to pray, is, let thy kingdom come and let thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Life is governed by fixed laws and principles. We've heard that some videos have been played over the past few days regarding this, so I chose not to play that video. But life is governed by fixed laws, principles, and ordinances. Pastor Sunday thought about that in a series on life is predictable, why we are here. The laws, the laws that govern life is what makes life predictable. So when people make statements like life is a mystery, it's because they have not discovered the laws of God, the laws that govern life, the principles that govern life, the ordinances that govern life, you see. Yeah. And for life to be, effective and be productive, we have to discover these laws and operate by these laws. And this is why, I also want to say that, we have to, from when a child is born, start to teach them, okay, that this life that you are born into is predictable. You see, and we need to start teaching them from kindergarten, because by the time they are in primary school, we start hearing that life is a mystery, is what you put into it. Que sera, sera, what will be, and this is what is in life right now. It's only a few people who know about these laws and who operate by these laws and put them into systems that rule the world. Like we've heard, in one of the HMT in February, where Pastor was talking on how to structure your life how to plan and structure your life for the next 25 years. In that HMT, he was showing us, how we are to plan our lives in accordance, and he used it in accordance to, these principles of life. Okay, and he used his own example to teach us how we are to do that. And those were the videos the video I showed earlier about even how God packages someone for their purpose on the earth. So we need to discover that, then make plans, and structure them. You see, after discovering, you make plans and structure them, and then begin to execute what God has called you to do on the earth. Okay. Maya, what have you got to say?
Yeah. Wow, I've just been thinking about how
Okay.
these Yahoo quotes from these GOs, how many lives is ruined?
Yeah,
And
that's right.
how many people have actually imbibed that? But you know, every time I think about something like this, I don't want to dwell on, okay, what, how many, what happened, or whatever. The solution to this, you know, and thankfully we have solutions to it. And
Yes, that's right.
but we are not shouting about these things enough.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the problems that we have. Some people want to live by those quotes of life is not predictable or mystery. And they just don't want people to speak, or they don't want you and I to speak about how predictable life is. They want to,
That's right.
especially when they're religious, God is going to
Yes,
do everything. So
that's
I'm
right.
also thinking that that's also part of laziness. That is the sin of irresponsibility.
Responsibility,
To
yeah, that's
expect
right.
God to do everything. Or how can you love a God that puts you in a world where it's mystery? Do you know, like,
Yeah,
okay, go
that's
and
it.
fend for, this is all a mystery. Go and fend for yourself. Go into the jungle and, you know, be there for yourself.
That's
You
right, yeah.
can, these are all these things that I feel psychologically have really messed a lot of us up.
That's right.
And to combat this, I'm actually thinking about you also, Mrs. D, of how we can compile
Yeah.
this, or how quickly can you compile this and we can have it into a book, so that
Yes, that's right.
people will have quotes that are more edifying, and
That's
they can
right,
speak
yeah.
into their own lives. I
That's
don't
right,
need
yeah.
anybody to speak into my life. I
That's
can
right,
speak, I
yeah.
can hear. I have my
Yeah.
own mouth. I will speak into my own life, but I still need the guide. I still need the guideline. I still
A
need the
guideline,
words that is
yes.
being put together. So
Absolutely.
let's put these quotes together, compile
Yeah.
them,
Yeah.
and in this order, because it seems like you've got everything on a
Yeah.
T already, and
Yeah. I mean,
and get it out there so that this can stop. We need to
yeah.
remedy all these negative Yahoo scammer quotes.
That's right. Yes. I mean, towards the end of this presentation today, we would introduce some possible products that we can create from this, and what even the viewers can, and even ask our viewers what, you know, some suggestions of things that
Oh,
we could do with them. But
wow.
I'll be presenting some products
Oh, wow.
that has come out from all of this. Yeah. So
Cool.
it is great. So I have on this slide as well, the principles really to adopt is to understand and know the mind of God, to study creation, you know, for us to, okay, okay. So for us, you know, in the next video that we're going to see, you know, Dr. Sunday was showing us and teaching us, how we need to study creation to know the mind of God, and this is how we would see how that life is predictable. Okay, yeah, I think to buttress this, really, I think we should play the video first, then I'll put the comments in.
Okay.
Yeah, so the second video. Yeah.
All right. So if you're watching, gentlemen, the book that is now available, is the video ready? Okay, let's go.
That is the premise or the basis for which we have that confidence, is that we know that life is governed by laws. That is our whole secret. We understand that life is governed by laws, and I'm happy that Tokwe is here. Brother Tokwe, I needed you to be here because I've tried my best to let him understand that I'm not special, I'm not unique. Anything that I've done, everybody can do it. But he keeps on trying to convince me that I think you are anointed, or I think yeah, God shows you, or he has some words, he has them in his vocabulary, many of them, trying to convince me at the end of the day that it's because I was chosen, or God must have had some more favor on me than on everybody else. But I'm trying to tell him the opposite, that no, it's because I know something about life. And that's what I'm starting with today. I'm starting by letting you know that the reason I know that your life too could be predictable, and that you could predict your life for the next 25 years, is because I know something about life. So what is that thing that I know about life? That life is based on Yeah, is governed by laws. Life is governed by laws. It's based on fixed laws. So it's important for you to note that word fixed. So life is based and governed by fixed laws. It's immaterial either you know them or you don't know them. So you might know these laws or you might not know them. But life is based on fixed laws and governed by fixed laws. That's why those two books are important. So, to know these laws, there are two ways we can know them. The two ways we can know these laws are, one, by knowing the mind of God, because God is the author of these laws, the laws of life and the laws of creation. So if we know the mind of God,
Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Yes.
so that's the second video, and Dr. Sunday did expand. So for us to know these laws, because a lot of people are unaware of these laws and principles, and that this is the reason why they think that life is a mystery. If we, like Dr. Sunday was saying there, that for us to know, to find out why life is predictable, we have to understand and know the mind of God himself. And how do we do it? We have to study creation and we have to study his works. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
In the book, I have two books there. So it's this book here,
Life's Greatest Secrets.
Life's Greatest Secrets. Yeah.
Yes.
And there are laws there. So I want to encourage our viewers for you to find out about laws. There are laws of night and day. Pastor did, or even listen to that HMT session. There are laws that govern life. Just like we have laws of seasons, laws of gravity, the laws of life, which are diligence, hard work, and all of these things. We can go and find out for ourselves. We can, find out the mind of God through, these materials here. You would have, a full understanding and detailed study on that. Okay. So we can go to the next slide. It's just one of Dr. Sunday's quote, just to buttress that life is predictable. This quote here says, God asks us to get his knowledge and wisdom to build a predictable life rather than expecting miracles. And this is just to also buttress the saying that life is predictable, you see. And how do we find out that life is predictable? We need to get the knowledge and the wisdom of God. Just like Dr. Sunday was saying in this video, you need to go and study the creator himself. You need to study his mind and find out the laws and principles that he has put in place that we have to operate by on the earth to make life predictable. When we find this out and we start to imbibe them, we will see that everything that we plan, when we put, for people who put systems in place, you will find out that when you work those systems, when you plan and structure your life and put them into a system, you would be able to see, just like God, plans first, he would finish a thing, he would start it and finish it before it starts it all over again. Do you see? So, and that's exactly the same. We are created in his image and in his likeness. So we are to plan and finish the whole plan and then begin to execute. So then we would know the results that we would get at each stage, during the process of whatever system that we've put in place. Okay, and the other quote there says the same thing, that life depends on laws and rules. To depend on miracles is to live in ignorance. Living in ignorance of these fixed laws and ordinances that God has put in place and principles that he has put in place. So don't just sit down there and wait for a miracle. Take a step. They're all, quotes in relation to, to buttress the fact that life is predictable. Yeah.
Life
So if
is
we move,
predictable.
yeah, life is predictable, and we find out, the mind of God. So we go on to the next slide now, which is slide number 16. Yes.
Yes, we have the
Yeah,
slide. Go
okay,
ahead.
okay. Right. So on this slide, it says every one of us has a portion of land that we need to subdue for God. I mentioned this earlier as well, that we have been created for a particular purpose. This whole earth, planet Earth, is God's plan. He wanted to replicate his kingdom. He wanted to have a miniature of the king of his kingdom, the kingdom of heaven as we know it as Christians. Okay, so he created earth, and then he created people. He put everything that is necessary for man to operate. He created man in his image and likeness to operate just like he operates in heaven. This is what this quotation is saying here. So for every one of us, we have been called. There's a purpose, there's a portion of the land on earth that we are to subdue, for God. Um, we talk about the seven spheres of life, and we have to go and discover which part of, earth, which portion of earth is what we are called to take over and to bring the glory of God to on the earth. And this is what this quotation is. And the reason why I'm just bringing out this quote is that Dr. Sunday's quotes are not just ordinary, empty quotes. They are quotes that actually helps you to fulfill some of the quotes to help you fulfill your purpose, to get you thinking, and to help you discover who you are on earth and how to work out what God has called you to do, your purpose on the earth. For every human being in existence, I've written, on earth, has an assignment to restore the glory of God to a particular portion of life, whether they know it or not. So it's our job as humans. We need to start propagating this to help people to understand that life indeed is not a mystery, like these ministries say. We have to just discover, we have to put in the work, like the last video. We have to discover the mind of God and look in his creation and find out about these fixed laws and principles that would help us to discover our mission, and we begin to work, in our calling on the earth. Okay. So we can go on to the next.
There's a video.
Yeah.
Do you want us to show the
Yeah.
video?
Yes, please. Yes, we have a video there. So if we can play that, thank you.
And preach from it. But what he just said right now is that God, he said, I brought you out of Egypt so that I might bring you in. All right, so God gave us life for a purpose. He deliver us from sin for a purpose, so that he might bring us into the destiny that he had planned for us. But then, when the children of Israel, when he did that for them, they got to the land of promise. It's not just abstract. Then the land of promise itself, which was the pie, the big pie, the God's purpose, had to be divided tribe by tribe. Then at the end of every family, by every person has a piece of the earth that is supposed to restore. So I delivered them. He said, let my people go, that they might worship me, that they might be the altar from in the land of promise that I'm taking them to. So he's released you, but there is a piece of the earth that you are supposed to restore for him, where you are supposed to bring his glory. Just like they had to, he said, so that they might worship me in the wilderness, so that they might worship me there. So there is a place, a part of, a piece of the earth, a piece of that cake, of that pie. Why? That it is your obligation, your gift, your talent that will cause that piece of the earth to worship God. That will cause that piece of the earth to experience the glory and the presence of God. And that is what calling is about. So just like when they got there, they didn't just say, oh, the children of Israel, we are in land of praise. No, God was very meticulous. Every tribe, every family, everybody, the piece of the earth has to be, you have to cause this place to be developed. This piece of the earth, you are cultivating it, just like Adam cultivated Garden of Eden. I take responsibility for it. So that's the way everybody who is a person, an individual in Israel, has a piece of the earth. The same way when we have come to the kingdom of God, even though we are many, even though the church is many, but everybody has a piece of the earth where he's supposed to bring the glory of God to. That is supposed to restore for God. Now, the big plan of God is to fill the earth with the glory of God as the waters cover the sea. And everybody has a piece. So why should he come to live in us? So that he came to live in you so that you will be the kingdom carrier, the glory carrier. So his glory is in you, his kingdom is in you, not for decoration though, because we even forget. It's it's for us to be able to take it and use it to dominate the earth, so that the earth as well and all of creation will experience the glory of the sons of God. The glory that you experience in salvation, the earth also needs to experience it, because they were in bondage, not willingly, but as a result of the sin of man. That's what made them to be in groaning and gnashing now, the whole of creation. So it is man, or sons of man, sons of God, that will now bring that deliverance to them, to the earth, to all of creation. Just like, we were the reason that made them to go into that captivity in the first place. So anyway, the basic thing he said is that God has a plan, so to give the land of promise, for people to be restored, and for it to become land that is flowing with milk and honey. But people have to do that. The glory of God has to fill the earth. So he had that agenda, had that plan, set you free, arrange you, give you, package you, how do we say, customize you, package you in a way, custom made you with some gift, with some talent, for the assignment that you are supposed, for that your peace, that you are supposed to restore the glory of God to. So education, therefore, is to develop, enhance that ability that he has given unto you, so that you'll be effective. So the primary goal of being here on earth is not marriage, it's not children, it's not making money. I could make money, but for it to help me be better placed to conquer that piece of the earth that God has given unto me. I might marry, but only because it will help me, enhance me, and help my partner to also be able to conquer that piece of land that she is responsible for. So everything. So that's what we call arrange your life around your life goals, the purpose for which God sent you here. So everything you do in your life is all about bringing to pass. So when people are talking about shilling, party, we are going to shield, when they are doing birthday, that's what people do. They're just going to shield and dance and do steps in church. They are going to church to do steps. They don't get it.
That's what they say, people going to chill. That caused a lot of controversy. I think it was his 50th birthday celebration then. But Mrs. D, the sound will come on in a minute and then you can speak. So people going to chill and all that. Yes, I remember that. Go ahead, Mrs. D, share your thoughts.
Right. I mean, you can hear it all, how we are that we are created for a portion, of the earth to subdue for God, to bring his glory to. And that's the point I wanted to make there. So it's our responsibility to actually discover. That's why the book, Who Am I, and Why Am I Here, is a classic book for every person, for every human being. If you don't know what your mission is in life, you are to read that book, go into solitude, like Pastor says. That will help you to focus and concentrate and, discover who God has made you to be and what you are supposed to be doing on the earth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what it is.
I love that book. That's my favorite book, actually. Who am I? Why am I here? Not because it's just the greatest book that Dr. Sunday has written. It's just because I feel like a lot of us, like generally, we don't know.
Yeah.
We've never asked ourselves this question, who am I? Why am I here? And we don't know. And I actually think that book, if everybody reads it in the world, we will stop war. That book can stop war. I mean, that's right. That's what I believe, because it can stop hatred, it can stop rivalry, it can stop everything that you see negative or
And
misunderstanding all sorts of things. I think that book is a really heavy book. Everyone in
it
the world
is.
should be mandated to read it, because
Yeah,
if you don't know who you are, you're just there wondering, and
yeah,
you don't
yeah,
know what's happening with
yeah,
yourself, and
yeah,
then you start looking at other people, you thinking somebody's got better
yeah,
than you, or
yeah.
why is this person's life better than mine,
That's
or why
right.
am I
Yeah,
like this. But once you know who you are and why you're here,
yeah.
that's it. You're just so free in yourself, and
That's
you do
right.
what you're supposed to
Absolutely.
do. So Mrs.
Yeah.
D, please share your thoughts on
Yeah,
that.
yeah. My thoughts also is that this would also stop people running after revelation. Pastor, pray for me. What did you see about my life? Because this is the whole thing that is in the religious churches as well. Because they don't, like in the Embassy of God Church, where as soon as you come in and they start to ask you, are you looking inwards? What has God called you to do, because we don't want to retain people in the pews. But, like places like Africa, where, the pastors, they thrive on their members coming to them to come and, for a word, for something to be spoken into their life, or what can you see about my future? And these are the things that the pastors thrive on. Do you see? But when people discover who they are and why they are here, and also know that life is an opportunity as well, and also then discover that life can be predictable, I believe that this would begin to get our people in Africa especially thinking, that, oh my goodness, what have I been doing all these years? Just running around and looking like I am lost on the earth. Because until you discover who you are actually just wandering. You don't know what it is. You're just there, like a biomass. You just grow up, go to school, get married, have kids, and that's it. You call yourself settled down. We heard that on the show yesterday. They call it
I'm
settled
settling
down.
down. I want to go and settle
Yeah,
down.
settling down, and then you raise your
Yeah, yeah.
kids, and then you're getting ready to retire, and then to die and go to heaven.
Yes.
So yeah, and that's what it is. So all these books are there on DSA'S
Books.
books at gmail.com. And yeah, and request for them. I'm sure everyone who avails themselves to these materials will be blessed and discover newness of life. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so if we go to the next slide, and also this is another quote that I want us to examine, because there's I like to refer to Africa again, and I'm sure around the world as well, that people, don't really care about somebody. People are so egocentric, that they don't care for people. It's just like churches who propagate that you don't give to the poor, you don't care about your neighbor. Even in the church services, they are talking like, your neighbor. I heard some services where they say that your neighbor could be your problem. So, they are praying against one another, or
Yeah.
that people
Olukoya.
who are against you are in your family and things like that. No, but we are really, the best way that we can serve God is by serving people. And how do we serve people? We could see the example, from the presentation of DSA's charity, how we serve, our nation, that we serve the God that is inside of people, regardless of whatever situation they're in, regardless of what habits they're in. We bring them, we help them out of their predicament. And then we start to introduce God to them. We start to introduce who they are, what they have been created for. We start to introduce that to them, and they begin to see life in a different light. Okay. And the pictures I've shown here, you can see Dr. Sunday, how he's constantly, helping people. People come around him, and he's serving the God in them. He always have people around him. He's serving whatever need. Even in his family, you can see that I put that photo there where he's holding on to his wife, Pastor Bosse Adelaja, because even in that setting, he's serving. He's showing how, a man should serve his wife. In some church settings, you will see where the husband and the wife, it's either they're not even sat next to one another, or they sat next to one another, but there's no communication whatsoever. But here in this picture, you can see that even just with holding hands. Pastor Sunday is teaching us how to serve the God, whether it's in your spouse, in your children. You know, we can see how it relates to children, how it relates to the elderly. He's serving the God that is inside of them. He's showing us a principle of the kingdom. He's showing us the heart of a father, of how our Father wants us to serve in various relationships in our lives, you see.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So if we go, here, I've just said the lessons, you know, the best way, the lessons in this quote would be, you know, there's a scripture that talks about even the angels, like, what is man that God, why are you so mindful of him? And this is how God actually values man, you know. The value of man is, you know, is held at a very high esteem, because God has created us just like himself. And that is why he's always, you know, looking out for people. Even when Jesus came, he was reaching out to the people who are down and out. Dr. Sonny shows us that in his charity, we saw that he's always equipping man, you know, he's always teaching them, you know, even for the nation. You can see the picture there where he was, you know, still serving the God in the people of that nation. So he wants to bring God back into the nation, because they were in communism for so many years. They were without God, you know, they didn't realize their potential, who they are, you know, they didn't want to discover, you know, that they have come from somewhere. Do you see? They just wanted to just live, you know, like people want to live like they're animals, you know, they don't have a meaning, they're not studying creation. You know, even the Bible talks about, even if you're not preached to, okay, that your environment, the nature should be able to speak to you. There's something on the inside of God that yearns for something where, you know, we always seek something higher than us. I believe it's to do with our conscience, what God has planted into man to seek after, you know, him. But we always not want to, people try to dismiss it, you know, and try to come up with some, you know, reasons why you feel that way, you know, but no, it is because God is in man, you know, and God embodies himself in man, okay? He created man for his glory. He created us in his likeness, and he wants us to impose the kingdom of God's principle. That was his original plan here on the earth. Okay, Maiwa?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, we are to value people. So, what are the principles then? Valuing people, you know, bringing awareness of God's kingdom and imposing God from every platform, using any platform available to impose God on the earth. Okay. Yeah. And be a reflection of God. And that's what we see in those pictures there. You know, reflecting God, how God will embrace us as human beings. And that's what we see in this picture, especially the ones where the children are embracing Dr. Sunday. He says, like Jesus said, let all the children come to me. And also the other picture there with him in the African attire, where he's embracing, you know, the elderly lady there, you know. And also recently we saw how he had a meeting with the elders of the Embassy of God, and had like a dinner for them in his house. You know, that's how we are to embrace people. We're not to despise people, because we stereotype. I have a thing about, you know, people stereotyping people, you know, according to age. You know, if you're 40, you are this, you should be acting this way. Or if you're 50, if you're 60, you know, and the people that we should ignore in the society now because they are probably 60 and over. You know, I see all these discriminations all around. And I think that is wrong. And we need to get back to what this quotation is saying, that when we serve people who are down and out, when we serve people who are in need, we're serving the God that is in them. And that's how to render service to God. It's not by being spiritual. Because if anybody wants to be spiritual, really, they need to go to where the accent, you know, the lifestyle is spiritual, which is heaven, really. But on the earth here, it's flesh and blood.
Yeah. Wow.
It's flesh and blood.
I like that. That's a quote. If you want to be spiritual, vamos to heaven. By Mrs. Disu. If you want to be spiritual, To the left, or is it?
Yes.
This is right. Okay, to the left.
To the yeah, I
I
wanted
like
people to
that.
say, yeah. That's
Yes.
right.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Mrs. D, thank you. All these quotes is just coming back. And thank you all for writing Dr. Sunday's favorite quotes.
Yes.
I'm checking out some of them. I'm picking every now and then to check out some of the quotes that you're
That's
writing
good.
down Dr. Sunday's favorite or your favorites of Dr. Sunday. And you know, one of the one thing that attracted me to Dr. Sunday, the very first video that I saw was you can't love God without loving
Yeah.
people,
Without loving
you
people.
know?
Yes.
And, you know, one of the questions that I've asked myself over the years, well, even as a quote unquote churchgoer then, was that do I really love God, or because of what I wanted or because of what I needed? I never had any clarity on that. And Dr. Sunday
Right.
just gave me clarity of, you know, if you love God, you love people. You know, the
People.
only way
Right.
that you can express your love to God is by loving
By
people and
loving
looking after
people.
people. And that really set me free. It set my
That's right.
priority, especially
Yeah.
to even myself and to other people as well. It sets it free for me. It also helped
Yeah.
me to align my own purpose, because I've always
Yeah.
been pissed off at people. I always thought, oh, you know, this person, you know, these people are stupid for this, even though I was stupid too. But I always think,
Me
okay,
too.
I'm so intolerant. Like, I don't have the patience. But just that quote, just you cannot love God without loving people,
Yeah.
changed everything for me. It was like a paradigm shift. So every
Uh-huh.
time I'm feeling like, okay, I really want to, this person is pissing me off or something, I'm just thinking, okay, am I saying that God is pissing me off? If I say that,
That's
then,
right.
you know, I don't love God. And
That's right.
I believe that I love God. So that changed everything for me. And um,
That's excellent.
like you said with these quotes, they're really life-changing. They're quotes
Yeah.
that really helps to govern your life
Yeah, that's right. They're
and
very
your
thought-provoking.
yes
Yes,
and your
that's right.
mindset.
Yeah,
Well
that's
done.
right. Yeah, it changes our mindsets. Okay, so the next slide that we are going into now is it's about ancient philosophers. Okay, so I want to we're going to watch a video. I think we should watch the videos first. The video is about, you know, historical personalities that inspired, that who changed the world and inspired Dr. Sunday's thinking as well. They, you know, inspired him. Well,
Sorry,
right, okay.
let's play another game, right? Everyone
Okay,
out
what
there,
game?
as this video is going to be shown,
Yeah.
choose which of these ancient philosophers
Philosophers,
is
right.
Dr. Sunday now. Or yeah, or you know, like the philosophy aligns with Dr. Sunday. Can we play
Yeah.
that game with this video? I haven't seen this video. Can we play that game, Mrs. D?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Okay,
We
so
can. And let's see
I
people's responses. Yeah.
yes.
Okay. Should it be after the video? Okay.
Yes,
Should they watch
after
the
the video,
video first?
yes, once you
Yes.
finish the video presentation here, they'll be able
Yeah.
to say who out of
Yeah.
these philosophers is like
Yes.
is like
Yeah.
Dr. Sunday, or Dr.
Yeah.
Sunday is like is like
Yeah.
Dr. Sunday now,
Yeah,
or they're
we've heard
similar.
how Dr. Sunday, you know, talks about some of these philosophers and
Yes.
how they have influenced him and how he sees himself in some of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. Okay.
Well, historical personalities that influence me the most. There are lots of them. Mostly the people who influence me are people that I read about in history. I feel sometimes I feel so lonely sometimes, and I feel that I am alone. I feel I'm not living in my age and in my times and in my. I think there are no. I feel sometimes that I'm not living with my contemporaries for some reason. I seem to have a problem finding my contemporaries in my generation. I don't know what will happen to the people in the future after me, because I can't see them. But I really hope that there will be a lot more people like me after my time, after I'm gone. But when I'm alive, I don't see too many people who are my contemporaries, who I could feel comfortable with, and I could think that they are my friends and my contemporaries. But when I go into the history books, I see a lot of people that I could say, these people are like me. I could see my friends in history. I could see myself and I say, yeah, these are my friends. I love them. I don't just call them my friends. I see myself. I see myself in them. I see myself clearly. For example, when I look at someone like the life of Martin Luther King Jr., I see that as me. I see myself in him. When I look at the life of Martin Luther from Germany, I see myself in him. I see that that is me. That is just me. When I look at, other people in history like Benjamin Franklin, I think that is me. When I look at people in history like John Calvin, I think that is me too. When I look in history at people like Fox, I think that is me. When I look at people in history and I see people like Hus, I think that is me too. Hus, H-U-S. When I look at history and I see somebody like Knox, I think that is me as well. When I look at somebody in history and I see someone like Wycliffe, I think that is me. When I look in history and I see somebody like the Wesley brothers, I see myself in them. When I look at history and I see someone like Whitfield, I see myself in them as well. When I look at history and I see somebody like John J. Lake, I see myself in him. When I look at history and I see people like, just even people like, maybe I shouldn't mention those people because even people who look so horrible and terrible to some extent, like Lenin.
John Lennon.
I see Lenin, and I see not myself in him, but I see things I could learn from him as well. And so he's not. I don't like his personality. I hate him. He's my enemy. But I could see something I could learn. So I'm seeing something I could learn from history, from a lot of people. When I look at someone like Moody, I see myself in him. When I look at someone like Finney, George Finney, I see myself in him. Then I learned from people like Oral Roberts as well, from Bill Graham, from Smith Wigglesworth, Simon. So all these are people that I've learned from, but I've also learned from people who are not Christians. There is but people who have done great things in history, but who have not been Christians. I've also learned from them. So, those are people that I kind of see myself in, that I associate myself with. People that, have been able to change history. When I see people who have been able to transform countries, nations, that's where I see myself. I see myself alongside them. I see that they are my colleagues. I see that they're just like me. I see them doing exactly the same thing I'm doing. Okay, then let's say in Nigeria, someone like Awolowo, I see myself in him. I see myself in a lot of other people, from different countries. Even in people like Fidel Castro. I learned from him as well. I don't see myself in him. I don't like a lot of things that he has done, but I see a lot of things I could learn from him. George Washington, I see myself in him. Lincoln, I see myself in him a lot in a lot of areas. Yeah, you know. So should I keep on mentioning? I think I've mentioned more than 10.
Yes, but what you haven't mentioned, sir, is the characteristics that they have. Because you say you see yourself in them,
okay,
but
you
you're
mentioned
not saying...
them. You mentioned them one by one. I will tell you what I've learned from each person.
Let's start from George Washington.
George Washington. Okay, I see myself in George Washington. I see that he's a warrior, and I know that I needed that, and I'm a warrior myself. People say Pastor Sunday loves people and all that, but I'm also a warrior. People who know me very well, especially people who have lived in Ukraine, they know that I'm a warrior. And I learned from him a lot, from George Washington, the fact that he's not afraid to go to war. He's not afraid to do what he needs to do, to go to battle, just to be able to carry out the mission and the destiny that is seeing ahead of him. So I learned that from him, and I see that this man has some presence, some character, value, some characteristics like me. He's just like a warrior like me. Of course, I didn't mention philosophers like Immanuel Kant. I see myself with people like that, and I've learned from great philosophers like that. But
Wow. That was brilliant.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant.
That's
brilliant.
right. So, yeah, I wanted to, am I on? Yeah?
Yes, you're on. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to play this video to see how DSA thinks. You know, it's like he's out of company sometimes, you know, because he identifies himself with all these historical figures, you know, Martin Luther, even the ones that are his enemies that he doesn't really, you know, like their what they have done, but he could still learn something from people like Lenin. You see what I mean? And he could see like the warrior spirits. I love the Elijah challenge, you know, when he came out and challenged, you know, that kind of warrior spirits and what he is intending to do with Africa, starting with Nigeria. You know, I see those things, and he doesn't see anybody in this generation that like that, but people who have come and gone, you see, and these great philosophers as well. I've put here just some biography to these philosophers and the way they think, how they influence society. Because normally, you know, philosophers they question the status quo. They question the standards of living in society. Okay, and they introduce new thoughts. Okay, and bring new ideas. And usually they have so many enemies because of this, because people don't really and are not readily ready for change. You see, it's like, what is wrong with this way of doing it? But for philosophers, they can see ahead. You know, they are thinkers, you know, and they can see what is wrong with whatever it is. Everybody is in the direction that everybody is going. So they introduce new thoughts to change whatever ills we have in the society. And this is what DSA is about. Okay, and I'm not so surprised, you know, that he has so many people, you know, coming against him. He has critics and everything. You know, it's just, you know, in the company of these men, you know, these Asian men, because for people like him, you know, I believe he's a philosopher. You know, he's bringing new changes into society and trying to change the wrong value systems in the society. I mean, we see him do it in Ukraine. We saw the Orange Revolution. I wouldn't be playing any of those videos because we've seen them recently in the days past programs that we've had this month. And we can see how it brought change, you know, how it brought value, how it brought, dignity to the people of Ukraine and brought life back, you know, into that society. And because he's now on his way to Nigeria to do the same, I'm not surprised that, you know, that people are against him. You know, it's because people don't like change. And also, a quote that I think Mr. Motoshaw said was that it's only children who throw stones at fruits, and that is only just to cover up, their irresponsibility, you see, because we all have responsibility, but so that theirs will not be glaring that they're not doing anything, they come against someone who is trying to bring about a change, or who is trying to establish something that would, help the society and the human race to move forward. And this is the reason why I've brought up some of these ancient philosophers and their quotes, and we're going to have a look at some of the quotes and compare them to DSA's quotes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
I think this is where we can play the game.
Okay.
So once you're saying the quotes, and then we would say who's DSA here.
All right. Okay. Well, on the slides, I actually have put DSA's quotes next to, because I wanted to make, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so we have a philosopher like Socrates. Okay. So the quotes are not really similar. The thoughts are just in line, in the same direction. That's what I want to be. So he thinks like a philosopher. He is one of them. And all these greats actually. Okay, maybe I'm going ahead of myself now, because I think that DSA is setting a new paradigm,
Yes.
So we'll talk about that. But some of these quotes here, what I've done is just to dig out some of these philosophers' quotes, and then put up, next to it, DSA's quotes that is similar. So they have things that are quite similar, but in the same line of thoughts. Okay, so like we have an unexamined life. An unexamined life is not worth living. So our DSA says, our thinking makes our life. So it's kind of, in the same line of thoughts, you see. The next one, we have true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. So life is a race. DSA says life is a race against disappearing time, you see. So it's just in line with, it's not exactly like, but it's the same line of thoughts, about life, quotes about life. And then to find yourself, you think for yourself, is what Socrates says. Eliminate all distractions and focus on things that add value to your life, you see. It's all in the same line of thoughts. And then some of them are not really directly, I just want to showcase that this is why he sees himself in these people, in these philosophers, in these great, personalities that have come and gone, and this is the reason for this comparison, just for our viewers to see the reason why DSA 2, should be put, I believe, and I think, Mayowa, you do too, that his name
so much,
should be,
so
much, it should be added to, the historical philosophers of all times, So if we look at Plato's quotes against DSA's one, so be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle. So that is, it's the same as the quote that we saw earlier, even though I'd written something here by DSA that says you cannot love God without loving people. It's the quote that we had a look at, we examined a few minutes ago. Okay, so wise men talk because they have something to say. Fools because they have to say, and fools because they have to say something. Life is a race against disappearing time. Okay, how tragic it is to find that an entire lifetime is wasted in pursuit of distractions while purpose is neglected. So it's all in the same, line of thoughts, do you see? And these quotes can bring about, a change in our thinking, and bring the right mindset to us, man, a being in search of meaning, only a wise man can discern time. Yeah. So if we take a look at Another philosopher that he admires, that has inspired him, Immanuel Kant. He says, live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. DSA says, laws set by God are boundaries protecting our lives from destruction. Yeah. And science is organized. Immanuel Kant says, science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life. Understanding the law of time will help us to avoid evil. Okay. So it's just all in the same, these are life quotations, okay? Things that would help us to understand the laws and the principles of life that God has put in place.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight some of those. Viewers can have a look at those quotes. Another person, I'm going to try and pronounce his name, Friedrich Nietzsche. Is that correct? Nietzsche, yeah, that's right. This is another philosopher that influenced DSA. And he says in one of the quotes, that which does not kill us makes us stronger. DSA says, when we refuse to do what we are supposed to do, we're supposed to do at the right time, the consequences is that of pain and tragedy. Okay. And he also, Frederick also says, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. And Dr. Sunday says, those who love their lives too much eventually lose it, while those who are ready to sacrifice their lives for others gain it. So what I'm just trying to do with this comparison is just to help our viewers, like I said, that these philosophers, DSA thinks just like they do as well. So they're in the same company, and that's why he identifies himself with them. Sometimes he feels lonely, when he can't find somebody to be. It's not that he's proud, that he says that he can't find somebody, but in the way he reasons, the behavioral patterns that he set for himself, the way he thinks, how he has developed himself, and sets rules and laws around himself. There's no one that is, he's not found yet. People who are like him. That's right. Maya, you can come in.
That's true. I mean, I was in that interview that day, and on that day I was thinking, wow, for somebody that don't have a counterpart, or somebody that a contemporary person that he can relate to, but yet he's still giving so much, so much to people, and trying to help people to come up to the understanding of themselves, and also to believe in themselves, and also believe in their abilities to achieve. So I was thinking, wow, where did he get this love for people? Where did he get this desire to do so much, as much as possible on a daily basis for other people? And then when he said that as well, I was thinking, wow, what audacity. At the same time, that you have to have some sort of content in you to believe so much in yourself, to say, in people that have gone, I have friends that I think I can relate to. Maybe the people coming, and I hope there will be, but right now, no one. You have to really know yourself. You have to have some level of confidence in yourself. Some level of strength, of some power, audacity. I just loved it, the whole combination that day. And I think that day as well, I started thinking about myself, that I also need to create myself to even know these things. First of all, I didn't know half of the people that Dr. Sunday mentioned that day, but from that time, believe me, I've enjoyed so much learning about the different philosophers. And that's why I was really excited when the picture and the biography, the short introduction of the different philosophies that you had there. I was really excited because I know what DSA is talking about. Then when I was in that interview, I had no idea. I know what they've achieved. I know how they are. So I would really urge people out there as well that go and learn. You might not understand Dr. Sunday. You might think that how arrogant or whatever that he said that. But if you go back and learn about these philosophers, you would also come back. Just Google philosophers, and you would also see the canon similarities, how the similarities between Dr. Sunday and all these philosophers. And really, Dr. Sunday was actually was underestimating how much he doesn't have a contemporary. He doesn't have anyone right now.
Right now, that's right.
You know, he's underestimating. Once you know about all these philosophers, you would understand that it's completely, he's right. He's completely correct.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And if our viewers read about these philosophers, you find that they were just highly criticized because they wanted to bring about change, something to improve on the society, and people were against them. And it's the same thing that we see, in what is happening with Dr. Sunday right now.
Yes. And the most important thing is, like, for me now, I'm starting to recreate myself, for the person to be the person that I want to be. But just like life is predictable, you have to decide, who do you want to be? How do you want to be? What are the things in life or in society that you think that they're wrong and you have an answer to, or you have you have knowledge of, you have solution to prefer for? So it's not just about looking at Dr. Sunday. And this is one of the things that I learned about Dr. Sunday, just not looking at Dr. Sunday and saying, okay, this is how you are, this is what you're saying about yourself, or looking at all those philosophers, but also looking at yourself, that, okay, what is my role here? And that's what you started with when you with the first video, where you showed the video of the HMT, where God created you for a purpose.
That's right.
And because God created you for a purpose, you need to identify that purpose. Remember, right before your parents were even born, somebody prayed for you, and that's why you're here. So even looking at those philosophies is not just to admire them and say, oh, that's pretty, that's nice. It's to see how you yourself as an individual can do something as well, how you fit in onto this earth. Brilliant.
For us to look at ourselves and see how we too can impact our society wherever we are. It doesn't really matter. It might not be on the same scale as how DSA is impacting. Well, that is his calling, but even in the smaller setting where you are, is to be able to discover your purpose in a community, in a small community, and the impact you can bring to that community wherever you are.
Brilliant.
So that's right.
Well done, Mrs.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So if we move on to the next slide, so this is why we're saying, Dr. Sunday Adelaja should be likened to, these great philosophers of all times, and his name should be one of these great minds of all time. You see, when we look at all these philosophers and all these greats, I think, I believe that from DSA's work, that he set a new paradigm for Africa by creating a well of wisdom and knowledge where people can draw values of life from. So his name needs to be on the list of the greatest men of all time. I see all these people, and it's not to say, a black man or a white man and their achievements and things like that. But really, when we look at all of these philosophers, there is none, there's no black African, on there. So I think that Dr. Sunday needs to be on that list.
Wow. I love it. And, I don't know where I heard this. Oh, okay. It's one of the the racist video, where they were saying that what has black person contributed to the world? What have black people done?
Okay.
One of the men was saying that, you know, black people, they're not scientists, they're not anything. But, you know,
yes, Dr. Sunday.
The person is obviously blinded by prejudice.
That's right.
You know, prejudice. There are lots of black people that have contributed to so many things to society. And one of the books that will help you to see that is how
Africans
brought civilization to Europe. So that's one of the best books to really grasp that. But the other thing is that I actually, as we are seated here having this conversation, I'm actually thinking about how Dr. Sunday is even actually greater than these philosophers. And the reason I'm saying that, okay, let me back that up, like Mrs. D. You were able to back up this as well. You know, and it's not just Dr. Sunday, even us on earth now, individuals on earth, we should be, okay, or we might not be demonstrating it, smarter than people before us. Reason because we've had their knowledge in addition to so we've had over 2,000 many years, 5,000, how many thousands of years? 2,000 years of knowledge at least, okay? Is already in you. It's already in your DNA. It's already somewhere inside of you. Because of all those people, the knowledge that they've had. So even Dr. Sunday, knowing those people with their knowledge and also the ones that he was also able to put together based on cultivating what God has put inside of him, his knowledge must be far more superior to this greats that we talk about. And you also out there, your knowledge also, because you had people before you with this knowledge. If we're talking about Socrates and all the other people that we mentioned, great, then you also, you know, their knowledge, in addition to your knowledge and what you know,
That's right.
and also the knowledge that we're sharing here today.
So it's their knowledge plus the reason why you have been created, because God customized you as well. So you have the things that you're supposed to, and then with their knowledge, I actually believe that, you know, any younger generation that is coming up, any generation that comes after a one that is existing, they are more equipped. You know, they have the knowledge of when they arrive, all the knowledge is and then the ones that they are bringing, the solution that God has sent them to the earth to come and fix. So they have this combined, you know, knowledge to tackle whatever it is, you know,
and that can be proven in so many ways, you know, because of certain things that have happened prior to us that we are able to develop even more and more. And the people after us, like Mrs. D said, they would even be able to produce more. You know, so even looking at basic things like, okay, if there was no electricity, we wouldn't even be talking about internet today. Okay,
that's right.
So that knowledge has been combined. You know, knowledge of electricity and the production of electricity helped us to also produce something from it. We were able to generate something else from that as well.
That's right.
So of course, our knowledge now, as we stand right now in this generation and generation existing, is far more superior than the likes of the greats. So that's why I said that Dr. Sunday, and I'm saying that Dr. Sunday is far more greater than them, the greats.
That's right.
I said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I should have had a slide with him amongst all of the greats.
Yes, we would do. We would do, and it would be on the internet.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so we're getting into something very exciting. So what I've done is, you know, when I got this topic, I was really excited because immediately I started having ideas on how we can propagate, you know, these life value quotes, you know, truths that are in these quotes. And I was thinking that, you know, we can come up with ways in which we push this into the society, that especially in Africa, okay, where the value system at the moment is really wrong, and we need to start to reorient how people view life, you know, and change their mindsets from the wrong values that has been put into them, you know, all these superstitions and everything. We start to combat them with these quotes, you know, and so I came up with some ideas. So if we go to the next slide, 26. So we have there, is it on now? So we have this on
Yes.
there, see.
Yes.
Yeah. So I printed some. So what I have done is just to
Wow,
print some
you actually
sample.
produce
Yeah, I
wow,
produced them.
a
Yeah.
physical
So
product. Wow, Mrs. D. Okay, the
yeah.
prize goes to the best for the best
Yeah.
DSA DSA 52nd birthday
And
celebration supercharged. First prize goes to Mrs. Disu. Physical product already for
yeah,
wow.
so I
Chang
produced some
Ching.
products for it.
Whoa, I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
It's just some of his quotes, you know. I've titled it "Life is Predictable," Volume One, and in that we have some quotes there. The knowledge of the the knowledge of the laws of life makes life predictable. You
Wow.
know, and some other quotes that say you were made for your purpose, and it's bigger than you. You
Wow.
know, and you were born for a specific assignment. You know,
Wow.
life is about discovery. So this can actually, in fact, for evangelism, this will be great, to put through people's doors, and to
I'm
encourage them to take
impressed.
to homes where people are depressed. They could see these quotes can help them to begin to think and to change their orientation of what they know life to be. Life
Wow.
really is predictable when we discover the laws and principles of life. And
Mrs.
then
D, you're not messing about, are you? Okay, so I was just thinking that we should have your,
yeah,
when we discussed quotes a few weeks ago and what you're going to
yeah,
do, and I was
yeah.
thinking you should have it as quotes to live by, but to actually
Okay.
see you see a physical product in your hand, man. You are surpassed my expectation. So this one says life is predictable, but we can have a
Yeah.
big volume of a big volume, maybe the same size,
Yeah.
and have quotes to live by, DSA,
Okay.
vintage DSA quotes
Yeah.
to live by.
To
I think
live
we can
by.
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And we can actually have like up to 100 quotes in one, in one volume,
Okay.
and another, and then probably in their categories as well,
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to make them, because I've seen some booklets of quotes and things like that, but some mini books or something, and they just plain, they just make a list of the quotes, and it's in black and white, it's just text. But this is more attractive, I think. I'm suggesting
Yes.
that we do this, and this is exciting. I even asked my younger people over here, and they prefer this, you see, because it's more attractive. Yeah, yeah,
Brilliant,
that's
brilliant.
it. Yeah,
Let's do
yeah,
this. Let's do this. Quotes to live
yeah,
by, DSA
yeah.
Vintage, Volume
Okay,
1.
so yeah, so we go on to the next slide, which is just the one I've just shown now, and then the next one is just the idea, to have 100, of DSA's inspirational quotes, in that volume as well. So that's another
I
suggestion.
like.
And then, yes, I also produced a greeting card, because you can send this to people. It's a blank card that you can send to people, and write your message in there for them.
Whoa.
If you have students in university, your son, your daughter, or somebody that you want to encourage, greatness
Yeah.
is synonymous with passion. Pursue your dreams with passion and enthusiasm. So this is a blank card, and you can just write, just thinking about you in the card,
Wow.
and that's a good idea. And then another one that says, just to encourage people, encouragement cards, that failure is not an end. You are not a failure because you failed. You see, it's a blank
Wow.
card, so you can
Yeah.
use that to encourage people, when they're feeling down, or
Okay,
something.
this
So
is
we've got a
done.
few.
It's done. We are doing this. It's done, Mrs. D. Full
Yeah.
stop. Guys, you can start getting this in about 2 weeks' time. All right? We'll put the details on for you guys. It's done.
Yeah,
No more,
and there are
say no
other
more.
ideas as well to propagate these life values, because I did a recording, but I didn't finish it off, So it's like an audio, narration of some of DSA's quotes, you see. So we could actually narrate somebody. We could have narrators who would narrate the quotes, some of the quotes in their categories, and we can put them onto, MP3s and things like that, where people can listen, and that can be, soothing for them, and they can
Well,
enjoy.
I love this idea. You can be soothing for them, and also, there are lots of people that are down.
Yes,
There are
that's
people
right.
that are blind. There are people that are in depression. Just
That's
to have
right.
these quotes and just listen to
Absolutely.
them and play over and over and over again. That's
Yes.
another brilliant idea, Mrs. D.
Yeah. And also, you can have them on face cams. You can put "Life is Predictable."
On
You can have
t-shirts.
shirts. Even on a book, notebooks. We can produce
It's
notebooks.
done. All these are done. Okay.
This will only help to propagate the truths that are in these quotations, and which are to do with fixed laws, principles, the kingdom of God principles for living on the earth. Yes. And it would be a great idea, actually, to ask, our viewers as well to write in the comment section their ideas to propagate these quotations by DSA. I mean, he has over 10,000 quotes that we're going to be working with to produce, to help to propagate, what God is saying to us, the life principles, of life values, these statements that make life predictable, so that they can start to have a change of mindset and know that we have been created for a purpose and we can achieve them, and that life is truly predictable.
Okay, guys, you heard Mrs. D just asked if you have any ideas of what we can do with these quotes as well. Put your ideas in the comment section. Let us know what you think that we can do. Look at all the brilliant ideas that she's already brought forward. Believe me, guys, we are doing this. This one has done, okay? So if you have any more ideas, let us know. Let us know, and how also you want to access this these products. How do you want to get these products? I'm thinking of some things right now, Mrs. D. We just have to work on this. Great, brilliant. Well done.
So we come to I have a tribute video to Dr. Sunday. Dr. Sunday, I want to thank you for the grace of, I want to thank God, first of all, for the opportunity to be able to meet you in my lifetime. It's a privilege. At the time I met you, I was losing hope for life, because I thought everything that I was trying to do was just crumbling. It wasn't just working, until I met you, and you started to show me how I can regain my lost years. And I've been working with that now for some time. So everything that I've been doing wrongly, that I've not been able to put into plans and structures like you've been teaching us, my focus and everything, I just really want to thank you. I now understand why Mary chose to sit at the feet of Jesus rather than doing any other thing else. It's the same for me. I love coming to Ukraine just to come and sit around, wisdom, to relearn life again, and I've discovered, my life's mission already, but you are showing me how to put them in place and put them into systems to make them work in my life and to impact the life around me. So I want to thank you. I made a small video, a tribute video for you, and this is just from my heart. I'm just appreciating you and wishing you a happy birthday and many happy returns. God bless you, sir. I love you so much. When I say I love Dr. Sunday, religious minds, they just freeze or something like that. You say, oh, he's a married man. I said, yes, I'm a married woman too. You can see Pastor Boston next to him. So it's not like that,
Let me help you guys. Let me help. Okay, so before we show the video, I just want to say a few things. Okay, let me help you guys and help you. This is D. I'm not married, and I love Dr. Sunday. Ting, ting. Okay, I just thought I should throw that out there just to get some people rattled. Rattle some people out of their cage. I'm not married, no ring. And I love Dr. Sunday. Sue me. Anyway, I also want to say, guys, we are now coming towards the end of the presentation. If you want to call in, share your thoughts, your contribution. You've seen what Mrs. D has done. She's now won the prize. I mean, forget about whoever is coming up next. Mrs. D already won. First prize go to Mrs. Disu of the presentation for this all DSA 52nd birthday celebration lessons. And I just want to ask you, if you're out there and you want to contribute to this presentation today, why don't you register your interest now? We have one more video to show you where Mrs. D is giving her tribute to Dr. Sunday Adelaja. So go to Move Agents. That's MOVEAGENTS. Move Agents. That's Facebook Messenger. Okay, Facebook Messenger. Register your interest now. We'll start calling people as soon as we finish with this video. And don't forget, everyone, Money Riches Wealth is available out there. It's available on Amazon, not out there in the world. Anyhow, anyway, Money Riches Wealth available on Amazon. Don't forget to pre-order it now. It's only $3.99. So for a whole book, $3.99. That's like less than how much it will cost you to buy lunch. So I just urge people to buy. It's not really about the money, but it's more about what you will get from the content of this book. Money Riches Wealth. Until you know the difference, you are not free. So go ahead and gain the knowledge to know the difference between money, riches, and wealth. Right. Without further ado, let's hear these tributes, please.
My name is ADEOLA DISU, and today I would like to pay tribute to a man who I believe is a living legend. A man obsessed and dedicated to bringing the principles of the kingdom of God to his generation. A God revealer, a God lover. I like to call him a human being prototype, dedicated to teaching, training, and modeling the kingdom of God's standard of living all around the world. Dr. Sunday Adelaja is a Nigerian-born leader, a thinker, philosopher, transformation strategist, pastor, author of over 300 books and still counting, a teacher, and an innovator. I met him at a time when I was questioning so many issues happening around me. I want to take this opportunity to thank him for opening my eyes to see that as long as I am still alive and have the willingness and zeal to follow and abide by the laws and principles of life, my lost years can be regained. Dr. Sunday counseled me so wisely on the burden I had carried in my heart for so many years. He listened and gave me solid action steps to help me through it all. Dr. Sunday, you are a loyal and reliable friend, my pastor, a wise teacher, and caring mentor. Your passion for the kingdom of God and immense love for people is highly contagious. I love your sense of humor, creativity, obsession with your mission to teach people about God and His kingdom. You are loving and purposeful, kind, caring, dedicated to God's purpose and plan for humanity. Everything about your life is beautiful. I love your family. I watch your beautiful wife, Pastor Bose Adelaja, learning from her wisdom and poise. Your children, Perez, Zoe, and Pearl, are admirable. You are so unique, loving, active, kind, and bright. You are stylish, or a fashionista, I should say. I love your swag. Your laughter is unique and makes me laugh too. Amazing. The sound of your voice is an awakening call to truth and life. Your enthusiasm and love for God is a daily dose of motivation and encouragement to me. Thank you so much for being a man after God's own heart. Happy birthday to you. Many happy returns. God bless you richly. ADEOLA DISU.
Sunday, gather here for a selfie. Let's take selfie. Let's take selfie. Let's take selfie. Gather in the comment section. I'm going to write it here. Let's take selfie. Mrs. D.
Yeah.
Gather here for a selfie. Let's take it. I've just written that there now. Okay? I need to see all of us. You know, we're gathering for a selfie. So one day we'll just take all our pictures like this. Mrs. D, that was fabulous.
Thank you.
I love that. I have to go and compose my own video too, because Mrs. D is winning now. I'm not having it. I have to do another video again. Wow, that was beautiful. I love that tribute video at the end.
Yeah.
You capture everything about Dr. Sunday is laughter. It's laughter. I'm waiting for somebody to turn that laughter into a ringtone. We need a ringtone of Dr. Sunday's laughter. All right? Compile all it.
I was collecting it. Yeah, it takes some time to get all his, his laughter with all the different tones.
Yeah, we need it. We need a ringtone, okay?
Yeah.
So you can put it as your ringtone. Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I love it.
Do that.
I love this presentation, Mrs. D. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You've taught me so much about believing in myself. I think that's what I got from this video. What I got from this presentation today, not just the video, is just believing in myself, in my ability. Seeing another man, like from the beginning, you said that Sunday is a prototype of human. And, once I've seen a prototype, I've seen what something looks like, what it is like.
That's right.
I believe in myself that I can do better. I can achieve better. You know? So I need to get to work now. And that's not just me. All of us, we need to get to work.
It's
been absolutely brilliant to learn all these things and see all these things compiled in one. And, one of the things that really, the product that is going to come out of this particular presentation, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you guys are also looking forward to it. We've said it now online.
Yes,
Dr. Sunday, we have to do this, Mrs. D.
Yes, we will do.
We don't have any excuse. You had less than a month to present this, or let's say a month to, and you already bought a product out of it. So we have no excuse at all. If we come together, we can do this in 2 weeks. So
that's right.
That's our project. After DSA's birthday celebration, our project is to get all these materials out for you guys. And I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Do we have any callers? Wait, we've got callers. So we're going to get, so people are going to start calling us now. Guys, please feel free. If you're still interested, you can still register your interest to call by going to Move Agents. That's MOVEAGENT. Move Agents, right? And that's Facebook Messenger. Hello, caller. Hello. Who's on the line?
Oh, Mayua, guess who is calling?
Yes, I know. It's you, Fama.
It's too much for me to take. Mayua, I cannot sit down. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Who's calling, please?
Oh, my God. Can you please give my queen a hug, Mayua?
Yes.
Please give her a hug for me.
That's for you, Mrs. D. Hug.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Darling.
I'm giving you a hug.
You are just a darling. Do you know what you meant? Do you know just this, your single presentation? It got me walking up and down. I couldn't sit down. You know what I'm going to do next?
Thank you.
Do you know what I'm going to do next?
Thank you.
I'm going to do a face cap. I'm going to do a t-shirt.
Woo!
Life is predictable.
Life is predictable.
Yes.
In the next 10 to 5 years, this is what determines who you're going to be, your friends, and the book you read.
Wow.
This is what you got me decide to do right now.
Brilliant.
I'm going to do this, and I'm going to give it as a gift. Oh my God.
Wow.
ADEOLA DISU, you are something else. You are the real product of Dr. Sunday.
Woo!
You are, for sure you are. Oh my God, Bayowa.
What's wrong?
Oh, let me just, I'm short of words.
Really?
I am just
wow. I can't believe you're short of words.
Speechless. And let me use this opportunity to announce to my great family. I went through a crisis. Dr. Sunday was there in prayer, and everything come out great.
Whoa.
I am all back.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
God is so great. Please listen, family. Listen. Every crisis, God is taking you somewhere. I just noticed that. I've been saying it, but I didn't know it was like this. God is taking you somewhere, and it's all gonna work out for our good. Please do not leave this DSA. Let us march forward with him on this journey. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good journey. Because it was only his statement. I was even ashamed to tell him, pray. I was ashamed because I know exactly what I need to do. But I have to. Thank God, I contacted Ojo. Ojo contacted him, and he said, it's well. And it came out to be well. It came out to be well.
Brilliant.
God is God, and he will remain God.
Oh, yes.
Please, my brothers and sisters, don't go back with DSA. He is, for sure, God's general. His army, the army of God, is not going to fall by the wayside. It's not going to fall. This general got it right, and God got our back. Blessings, family. I am out here. ADEOLA DISU. Wow. Wow. Thank you, family.
Thank you, Mabel. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow, Mrs. D, you got everybody producing now. At least one person is producing. Wow. So we're going to have Life is Predictable hats and t-shirts by Mabel.
That's
right. I'm so excited. I'm excited already, guys.
Me too.
Okay, we have another caller. In the meantime, guys, let me just show you. Okay, we have the caller already. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Ufoma.
Yeah.
Gather here for a selfie.
Yeah, we have taken these selfies. Sister ADEOLA has just floored all of us I'm like, what?
I know, she's challenged everyone right there.
Oh my
with the
God.
product.
This is so amazing. This is so brilliant. I'm really so happy because this is the first time I was laughing like, oh, Sister ADEOLA on camera for the first time.
Yes.
And she just stopped the bar. She just set the bar really high. And I am so happy, and I'm so excited about the ideas that she just dropped on us like
Brilliant.
I can't wait for those products to come out. I'm so inspired, by the path she has taken us through, even with Dr. Sunday and his quotes. And just like he said, quotes are like signals in our lives. And if Dr. Sunday have all of those quotes, then we should really publicize them.
Yeah.
We should really let people know about them. And
absolutely.
like she said also, Dr. Sunday should be among the greats. He should be one of them. And it's not a surprise when he says he doesn't have contemporaries. We said Dr. Sunday is 52. For me, he's not a
I'm telling you, he's like 900 years old.
1,000.
He's just an old ancient soul in a young body, So of course he will not find his contemporaries in this our time and age. It's not possible, And one striking thing that Sister ADEOLA said is he's a model, like a prototype. There is no product that we see on earth today that does not have a prototype.
Yes.
And the failure of society today and of our generation, because we don't have a lot of this model that we look up to. And we have this person in Pastor Sunday, and somebody somewhere is cringing and burning up that we are celebrating him. We need to celebrate him, or we need to showcase him to the world, because he is a model of somebody that is a God carrier, a kingdom imposer, somebody that is telling us that it doesn't matter where you come from, it doesn't matter your background. If you have God, then you are in majority. If you have God, there is nothing that you cannot do. So we will continue to celebrate him, and we will continue to showcase him, because he is the model that we see right now.
That's right.
Paul said in the scriptures, he said, follow me as I follow Christ.
Yes.
That's
So
right.
there must always be somebody, you know, he's teaching us that we can also be the same. He's teaching us that we can also be carriers of Christ. So why will anybody have a problem? Because when I look at Dr. Sunday, I strive every day. He challenges me, and because he's the first person I've seen that actually represented Christ to me. And that really drives me, you know, every time I'm conscious of the way I live, trying to make sure that my whole life conform, just as Pastor Sunday has used the word of God to form his life. I try to make sure that I conform even to the word of God that I read. If he was not there showing me this example, it is one thing to read, it is one thing to see things in books. And that is why a lot of children of this age, a lot of them, they learn not by just mere talk, they learn by pictures. It is one thing to read, but it's another thing when you can actually see and say, oh, this is not just a test. This thing can be practical. This thing can really, you can really see it in real life, and that makes it even more empowering when you know that it is not just something you read in a book, but you can see the living example of what you are reading. You know, I'm just so grateful to Sister ADEOLA, especially with all of I can't wait for those cards, and I can't wait for those quotes. Yes, those ideas are just super fantastic, and we really have to propagate them.
Yes.
I just want to thank Sister ADEOLA. Sister ADEOLA, hey, in fact, I feel like taking your seat. I should
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been a brilliant and excellent presentation, and we are really grateful. This is the DSA effect, if I must say.
Yes.
This is the DSA effect, you know, and we are really grateful for DSA because he brings out the best in us. He makes us to realize that God has packaged us with a lot that we need to give the world. And oh God, why? We must always celebrate him. God bless you, Dr. Sunday. Happy birthday once again.
Thank you. Thank you, Foma. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Okay. Wow, Mrs. D, I don't want it to end, but you know, every good thing has a beginning and an end.
Right. That's
guys,
right, yeah.
I've enjoyed every moment of today. Thank you so much for the presentation, for the product that is already coming out of this. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the lives that these products will change.
That's right.
That the words and the quotes will change for the better in our society. Right. I'm looking forward to a better society where people know their purpose. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Mrs. D.
Thank you so much.
For helping us to see it in this view, this paradigm. I'm really grateful to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. Yes.
Yes, guys, we made it. Actually, we did over 2 hours. Over 2 hours. I always said that we made it in under 2 hours, but it's been over 2 hours already. Yeah. We appreciate you. Thank you. This is day 26. We have one more day, 27, and then it's Dr. Sunday's actual birthday.
We're ready to
and
celebrate.
Guys, we have people already in the house. People have traveled to join us here in Ukraine. I'm really touched. I'm really touched by the people that have really made the journey to come over to spend time here with Dr. Sunday for his 52nd birthday. And I do appreciate them. Thank you and welcome to Ukraine and welcome to their family. So, and for those of you as well that have joined us every single day in this Lessons of Life of Dr. Sunday, or we call it celebration, thank you so much. Yes, we have another day, okay? So tomorrow, don't forget, we still have another program tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, 28th, that's Dr. Sunday's birthday. So please join us. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Mrs. D. Thank you all. I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, the book is available on Amazon for pre-order. That is Riches, Money, Riches, and Wealth. And it says that if you don't know the difference, then you are not free. So go ahead and pre-order it on Amazon, just $3.99. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you. See you later. Bye.